Hello! Today I'm going to talk a little bit about something that I get asked about a lot, which is about my quivers. Most of you would like to know where I get them. Truth of the matter is that I don't get them anywhere, I make them. So if that satisfies your curiosity, then I guess the video is over for you. But I thought I might just talk a little bit more about them. A lot of you ask me why I don't use a hip quiver, which is not true. I do use them. This used to be my very first one. This is actually something I didn't buy. I actually bought it. Came with my first bow, first retail bow, and I used it for several years. Functions, well, beautifully for its purpose. But I really don't like things hanging around on my hip, just being in the way. I like back quiver mainly because it doesn't really get in my way that often. I like to walk, I like to be active, and with this I feel like I grab hold of it all the time, and if I don't, things fall out. Really annoying. Which doesn't happen on a back quiver unless I stand on my head, which I can't, so there you go. But that doesn't mean to say that I don't use anything on my hip, because sometimes they are more practical, like when I'm wearing a cloak or, well, too much armor, clothing. Anyway, usually then I will use this thing. It's called an arrow bag, and hopefully every one of you got one, because they're immensely practical. I use this mainly to store my arrows in when I'm not doing some archery, because if you see, it has a leather spacer on it, which means that the fletchings keep itself nice and tight without ruining it. So this is in itself a quiver, but I don't use it much when I'm shooting, because I find it quite cumbersome to place my arrows in it when I'm done shooting around, so it just takes too long. But I always use it for storing my arrows. A quiver can have many shapes and forms. The simplest one I made when I was about, 16, 17. It's made from a trouser leg of a denim trouser, so not at all beautiful, but very practical. I used it for many years. So I don't say you have to spend hours and hours and then making something that functions like a quiver. This is a quiver. It can be done that easy. So the only drawback with this is that it's very flimsy. The arrows tend to just get caught up on it, so keep it simple. The two quivers I use mostly today are these two. They're both made of, well, really tough leather, so they're quite sturdy, stiff, and they're both back quivers. Well, this is actually a hybrid. I made this so that I could use this on my hip if I wanted to, because of, well, when I'm wearing a cape and so and so. This is fairly new. This is about 8 years old, so style-wise they're quite similar. I like to keep them simple. Most of you are perhaps familiar with this one. I think I use this in just about every one of my movies. So the way this is designed, this is from a time when I tried to shoot from my right and left side. So I needed a system where the quiver could be pivoted, so it could be used on both sides. And quite a sturdy fastening system, so it stayed in place. And I was really happy with it. It has some flaws, but I kept using it, well, for 8 years. didn't improve on it. So it worked out rather handsomely. The only thing I don't like about it is that it only holds around 15 arrows comfortably. Then they get too crowded, and then, as my people know, when it gets too crowded, the fletching starts to crumble, and well, it sort of ruins the arrows. This, on the other hand, is my latest creation. It turned out very well, if I might say so myself. That's because I tried to fix all of my problems, my archery problems. This, unlike this, can hold my entire arrow bag. This is actually designed so I could actually strap my entire arrow bag in it. It's actually an empty shell, which is detachable, so that every part you see here can come off, and I can add on some bags, pouches, and just about anything I want. This is also one that can be fastened horizontally around my waist, so that it is in fact a hip quiver. So, well, that's it. So that goes to show that I don't only use a back quiver, I use hip quivers when it suits me.